Welcome to the fourth episode of the Veterans Roundtable. My name is Jeremy Anderson. Joseph Loudon is not going to make it today. He's spending some time with family. But I'm joined by Mandy Kloepfer. We met on LinkedIn a little while back, and she's got a great story to tell. Mandy is an Army veteran, correct, Mandy?
Correct.
So she's an Army veteran, and about 13 years ago, I believe you said it was, she was in a very bad car accident that we'll get into. And as she's gone through her recovery, she's really accomplished some amazing and inspiring things, and she's got some goals going forward that I want to get into. And really, as we go through her story, I just think there's some really cool things that I found to be very, very inspiring. And she's accomplished a lot, and when I see what she's accomplishing, it just really highlights what you can do when you set your mind to something. So I want to go through her story and just kind of share that, and then talk about her goals going forward, and just kind of share those with the military veteran community. So I guess to start with, Mandy, I'll ask, why did you first join the Army?
I joined when I was in high school. I originally enlisted in the Navy as a nuclear engineer,
Okay.
but I switched to the Army.
Okay, so you joined the Navy as a nuclear engineer, and then you switched to the Army after that?
Correct.
And that was all just straight out of high school, so you were like 18?
Correct.
And then do you want to just talk about what you did in the Army, or Navy or Army, I guess, but what did you specialize in? What did you get trained in?
My specialty was 31 Bravo military police.
Okay, so you were military police in the Army. And then, if I remember correctly, it was while you were still in the Army, you got into the accident. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit about what happened and tell me about the accident?
In 2007, February 30th, I was T-boned by a school bus.
So 2007, you were T-boned by a school bus, and I know you showed me the pictures a couple times. And when I saw those pictures, I mean, it's amazing that you lived through that, and I mean, I can't even imagine. So I'm glad you made it through it, and I mean, we'll share the pictures. But your car, I mean, that was a terrible, terrible accident. So you get in the accident. And I mean, what was your recovery like? So you get in the accident and you're in the hospital. What was that recovery like?
I don't remember much of the first part of it, but it was somewhat difficult from what I remember.
Yeah.
There was a lot of relearning how to do everything.
You had to learn how to do everything over again? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then, so I guess as you recovered from the accident, is that when you started school?
I went to school probably a couple years after I got home from rehab.
Okay. So you got home from rehab and you started school. What did you study?
I studied accounting for my associates and bachelor's.
So you studied accounting for your associates and your bachelor's, and then you got into forensic accounting, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that's a master's degree?
Correct.
So what year did you get your master's?
I got my master's in 2014.
Okay. So about 7 years after the accident, you finished up your master's?
Yep.
That's impressive. That's awesome. And then why did you choose forensic accounting, and what did you like about it?
I really like math, but I didn't think being a math teacher would be such a good idea. And as a forensic accounting, and I thought it looked kind of cool.
Okay. So you really enjoyed math. You didn't think it made sense to be a teacher, so you just thought forensic accounting was pretty cool and wanted to get into that.
Yep.
Okay. And I know we've talked about this privately, but can you explain what forensic accounting is for people that may wonder what that means?
It deals with fraud and trying to get out the bakers, like burning it up.
It has to do with fraud, and what was the rest of that?
Getting all the bakers, kind of like burning balls, burning it up, triangle scheme.
I'm not catching that. I'm gonna push pause. Okay, so I wanted to clarify what you're saying just there. You said that forensic accounting is like catching the bad guys like Bernie Madoff, right? Am I saying that right?
Good.
Okay, I didn't get the reference though. That's the first time I've heard of Bernie Madoff. So I'm looking at it here. He's an American fraudster and convicted felon. So you'd be the one to catch him, right?
Correct.
Okay, and then so you get into forensic accounting. Once you got done with school, were you kind of working as you were going to school, or did you get done with school and then start working?
When I was starting my bachelor's, I got a job as an accounting assistant,
Okay.
and I left the job to pursue my master's degree.
Okay. So you're doing your bachelor's, you got started as accounting assistant, and then you said you left that job to start your master's?
Correct.
Okay. Very cool. And then you got your master's with what school?
Southern New Hampshire University.
Okay. I'm familiar with them. And so you're doing all this stuff with forensic accounting. Did you, so you get into some accounting jobs, and then at some point you get into bike riding, correct?
Correct.
So what was that like the first time that you rode a bike?
The first time I rode a bike, I felt like I was free.
I love that. You felt like you were free? Was that like the first time that you felt free after the accident?
Yes.
That's awesome. So we've had this conversation before, and I want people to hear it. How far did you go the first time you rode a bike?
Probably less than a mile.
Less than a mile?
Correct.
What's the furthest you've gone now?
50 miles.
50 miles. That is very inspirational, because I know I wouldn't make it 50 miles. And how long did it take you so you get on a bike and your first ride is less than a mile, and now you're riding up to 50 miles. How long did it take to get to the point that you could do a 50-mile bike ride?
Probably 4 years.
4 years. Was that hard work?
Yep.
I bet. And going forward, what are your goals with the bike riding?
I want to one day represent the USA in the Paralympics.
Very interesting. Do you have you talked to the people with the Paralympics at all, or how does that process go?
There's a bunch of selection procedures.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll be your biggest fan when you get there. And then going forward, what are your goals with forensic accounting? I mean, what do you want to do?
I'm trying to get a job where I can work in a preparing and detect part for company.
Okay. So you want to work with like a company's fraud detection department?
Correct.
Okay. Um, what what's the biggest challenge as you search for a career or search for a job in that field?
My biggest challenge would probably be getting people to understand me and my capabilities.
Getting people to understand you and your capabilities?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have a good resume, like a good updated resume?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Okay. Um, so what can what can we do like what for like Joseph and I, what can we do to kind of help you move forward and get that career in forensic accounting?
I think you guys are doing a lot right now. Just by getting my story out there.
Okay. And that's, I want to share your story and help people understand the things that you've accomplished. Um, I I know that you could do well in forensic accounting. I know that you've accomplished a lot of crazy things, or not crazy, but like really, really impressive things outside of forensic accounting. The bike riding and the education. I mean, that all speaks very highly about how hard you're working and how hard you've worked to overcome everything since the accident. And I think that speaks very highly of you. It's very inspiring to me. As I think about what I could be doing going forward, if you can overcome those things. I think that's really amazing, and I think that you're going to be able to do anything you set your mind to. We're going to try to get your story out there to people and help them understand, what you can do and that you have a lot to offer in the accounting field. So we'll try to share that with our networks and help people understand, that you have a career ahead of you in forensic accounting. What I know you've said communication is a big challenge for you. Is that correct?
Correct.
You write very well, and I can converse with you just fine. So I think you're a better communicator than you realize. So it just I think if you keep working at it and keep writing. I've read your blog, and it's really inspiring, and you're a very good writer. And I know even communicating verbally, like we have good conversations. This is probably what the third time we've sat down and had a conversation, and I think you're a really good communicator. So, um, what? Uh, so I guess what about location? So you want to get into forensic accounting. What area, what geographically, what area are you looking for?
Right now I am looking in Rockford, Illinois, and the surrounding areas. I will work remotely.
Okay. So you're looking at companies in Rockford, Illinois, or any opportunities to work remotely in forensic accounting?
Correct.
I think we'll kind of get your story out there and help people understand what your goals are, and hopefully we can find some doors to open for you. Are there any questions you have for me, or anything else you want to talk about?
No questions.
Okay, well, we're gonna keep in touch. Obviously, I consider you a new friend, and I am very inspired by the things you've done. My favorite part of it is the bike riding. When you tell me you're riding, and I know you've sent me the screenshots of what was it, like a 30-something mile bike ride on a Tuesday morning, and
35 miles.
okay. And so, I mean, I think that's just really awesome because I know how hard you had to work to get to that point. And of the conversations we've had, that's my favorite part is to know that after the accident, you get back on the bike, and my favorite part of it all, you said you felt free again. And after the accident, that's I can't even imagine what you went through, and you kind of find that outlet for you that gave you your freedom back, and and you just kept working at it. And now you're doing 50-mile bike rides, and that's the most inspiring part of your story to me, and the part that I love hearing, and I want to share with people, because sometimes I see people trying to accomplish things, and I'm like, you just got to try harder. And when I see what you're doing, it's like, what excuse could anybody have when you're sitting there knocking out 50-mile bike rides? So just keep it up. You are inspiring people. I think your story is amazing, and I look forward to seeing you move forward, and hopefully we'll get you help put you in touch with the right people to step into forensic accounting and do some great things there, and catch the what was his name, the Bernie Madoffs of the world. I want them to know you're coming for him. So keep it up. I'm amazed by your story, and I look forward to talking to you more as we go forward.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that about wraps it up, and I don't know. That's episode 4.